Welcome to the Home Centered Life podcast, where we seek to slow down, opt out of anxiety, and live an unhurried life. We're so glad you're here.
Journey alongside us as we learn about homesteading, homemaking, and living a more simple, home-centered life. Because we think the richest life possible is centered around the home.
Welcome back to the Home Centered Life podcast. We're so glad you're here as always. And today I'm going to keep the intro really short because Michael is going to take the lead on this episode. So I'll tell you what we're talking about and then I'm going to hand it right over to Michael. So today we are going to discuss family guiding principles. So Michael has been amazing at heading this up for our family and we talk about it every week and it guides our life basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Michael, tell us how you got started with these family guiding principles, or just why we need guiding principles in general.
It stems out of the work that I do as a coach and a consultant. So I've become a lot more comfortable with this kind of stuff because of that work.
Yeah.
And so before we dive in, if this sounds weird or out there or too structured, or I can think of lots of emotions that might come up when somebody thinks about putting together a set of guiding principles for their family or a family mission statement and that kind of stuff. So I totally get it. A lot of that reaction, I felt those things too. A lot of that reaction though is primarily due to two things I've learned.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I kind of want to address that before we dive in, just in case people are feeling like this is such a weird thing to do for a family. Mm-hmm. The first kind of place where we might feel some pushback is simply from the novelty of it. Mm-hmm. Novelty not necessarily being a good thing in this context. Most people don't do this. So this by definition is not normal. Yeah. Or by definition, you could say this is weird. Because the vast majority, I have no statistics on this, but I'm based on my experience, I pretty much never heard of a family doing this other than like one other family. Mm-hmm. And so there's part of it that's like, that's such a weird thing to do. Yeah, correct. But one of the things we were talking about a couple of days ago is that normal is not that great of a North Star because most people and most families are not really flourishing and not really thriving. Mm-hmm. And so I sort of buck against the, like, this is a weird thing to do because I'm like, well, the normal way is not working. So I'm going to try something else.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times I'm more up for doing unconventional things, partially because I think the normal, and no guilt, shame, or judgment, but I think most people, if they're honest with themselves, they're not flourishing as a person. Their family's not flourishing as a unit. And so I don't really look around and go, nobody else is doing this, so we shouldn't do it. I look around and I'm like, nobody else is doing this, but they're all miserable, so let's do something else. Mm-hmm. The other place where I think pushback rises up is most mission statements seriously suck. And most sets of guiding principles are so cliche and so pithy and they're so overdone that I even, when I read most people's mission statements for their businesses, like, I kind of just want to bang my head against the wall. Like, really? Community is your mission? Another one? So if you've ever been exposed to mission statements or guiding principles and it was terrible, you might be extra resistant to this idea, which I totally get. But if you can hold some space for why it might be helpful to chat together as a family about what it is you're trying to do, and just like, maybe that could have some benefits. Just create some space for that in your head. I think this framework will help demystify what it might look like. And with that space held, I think it is actually pretty self-evident. I was like, oh, I could see how that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think I was trying to remember when we kind of really pursued this. I'm having a hard time remembering, but now it is just part of the rhythm. Yeah. But I think it did feel weird at first. And I remember you created this thing and made the document and brought it down to me. I was like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it's kind of like trying on a new pair of jeans. Like at first they feel a little weird, but like now that it's a part of it, I just like it fits and it's exciting. And I think the thing that more than anything excites me about it is that story, that common story. And I know we'll talk more about that, but I think at the heart, it's really just like, are we all moving in the same direction? And we've talked about that before. Like, are we all writing a story together or are we going in totally separate paths? So that could be just a helpful way for people to think about it. Like, let's create a shared story.
Yeah.
And like, this is a way to kind of create an outline for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And going back to what you said about trying on a new pair of jeans, it's even worse than that. It's like trying on a brand new pair of something you've never worn before. Like if you don't wear 3-piece suits on a regular basis and then you try one on for the very first time, a brand new one that's not like broken in at all.
3-piece suits.
Yeah. That's my,
it's my jam.
If I were to try on a brand new dress, it would feel super, that's a terrible example. But you're trying on something that's brand new that you've never done before.
Yeah.
So it's going to feel weird.
Yeah.
The other thing is you've never done this before. Your first one's not going to be good.
Totally. That's a good point.
And I mean, Anne Lamott has a great saying for that. Not so fantastic first draft. She calls it something else, but I am surprised at myself and surprised at others how quickly we try once and give up if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And that's such a bummer. And I do it still, but I don't think nothing that I do today that's worthwhile did I do right on the first try.
Yeah.
So the assumption that you'll like sit down and do like one guiding principles workshop with yourself and your family and come up with something amazing. Yeah. No, I think there's the first version that we liked, like the first one that clicked. But right now, I think we're on our third one, third iteration of that one.
Totally. Yeah.
So there's similarities, but it's very much still different.
I think it's a working document.
Yeah,
too.
It's a living document.
Yeah. It's something that you can always come back to. And, you know, with different seasons and different goals and dreams, it's going to change. So let's talk about kind of the different parts. And then we're also going to share kind of along the way what ours is as a helpful way for all of you to kind of better understand really what this is and kind of bring it home. Yeah. I'm
going to go through just a quick overview of the 6 parts and I'll say them in the order that I'd like to cover them. Number 1, you already mentioned, is the story. And I'll explain each one and give ours as the example in a second. But there's the story, there's the why, there's the critical actions, the key characteristics, the actual like goals or mission, and then the family motto.
Yeah.
And I think if I could only have one of these, it would be the story. And I think there's too many reasons to discuss on a single podcast episode. But I think the most compelling thing that I ever learned is that we don't know if the brain works this way because people have told stories for so long, or if we tell stories because the brain works this way. We don't know. It's sort of a chicken or egg, but it sort of doesn't matter. The human brain works in stories.
Yeah.
And the quickest way to make somebody feel what you feel is to tell them a story. And there's even research that when somebody tells a story in which they experienced pain, the listener in an fMRI machine experiences the pain.
Wow.
So there's nothing more powerful than story on a neurobiological level. But a good story and a good story summary will pull you right in. And I think that's part of the power of if we have nothing else, there's that sense of like, but this is the story we're writing. Today was, days are up and down, or one of us will be up and the other one will be down and vice versa. Today it was hard for me, but reading the story, our story, is really, really powerful. It reminds me, it's sort of like a oh yeah, this is where we are.
Yeah.
This
An
is
anchor.
where we're going.
It's
Yeah,
an
it's
anchor.
an anchor. Yeah.
That's
So,
good. Yeah.
So I'll just read our story from our guiding principles. We have this framed downstairs, but I'm just going to read it off my computer. The story that we're telling, if we were to summarize it, goes something like this. Many people go through their entire lives never fully realizing what is possible. When families don't press into the possible, they pass on a legacy of limits to their children and never help heal the world. The Ryan family lives a life set apart, like a city on a hill, to show the world what is possible and create a sanctuary they can step into to find restoration. Because when we live out our calling, we open people's eyes to the beauty, healing, and belonging that isn't just possible, it's our birthright. So I wrote that at pulling together the hundreds of different conversations we have had about what we want to be doing. But even if we had never written it down, the conversations about what we want to be doing were just as valuable. It's not really about writing a story synopsis like I just said, although it's powerful. It's about having conversations about what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why did we get married?
Yeah.
What for?
Yeah. What are we doing with our lives?
For any other purpose other than it just seemed like the thing to do? Or are we trying to do something? It's like oftentimes being married is like the destination because that's where all the rom-coms end.
Right.
But it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
It's more like chapter 1, not
good.
the end happily ever after.
Yeah. So. I love that. I love it. I was just closing my eyes as I listened because it's good to just envision that again. Because like, I think the thing that's powerful about this and about this exercise is, and you said it kind of flippantly, but like we have this framed in our dining room. And so we review this. Oh yeah, we have it in our bedroom too. Forgot. But so it's in our dining room. So every Saturday on our Sabbath, we review this. And I think that's that anchor point. And it's a grounding experience too, because it's like the week can be all over the place, but then this is like, oh yeah, we are going somewhere, we are headed somewhere. So I love it. Okay, let's go to the next part.
The next part is kind of just an extension of the story, and it is actually literally the last line of the story, and it's our why. And it's helpful to extrapolate it out, because if there's one thing that I've learned from studying neuroscience is that the human brain can't operate without a why. And this is part of the reason why I think, frankly, I think the theory of evolution is total BS, because it doesn't answer the question, why? And the human brain needs an answer to that question. Regardless of where you fall in that particular discussion, humans need to know the answer. Why? Why did this happen? What are we doing? Why do we exist? Why are we married? And so we pulled out the last line of the story as the why. And if you think of it as like the answer to the question, like why are you guys doing what you're doing? Because when we live out our calling, we open people's eyes to the beauty and healing and belonging that isn't just possible. It's our birthright.
Yeah.
I think in a previous iteration we had said it isn't just possible, it's what we're made for.
Yeah.
Same idea. So why are you guys doing all this? Because if we live out our calling, it's going to open people's eyes to what's possible.
Yeah, that's good.
And if we don't, then they won't. Their eyes will stay shut. And so
that's good.
That's our reason. That's our why.
That's why we do this podcast.
Yep.
And it's our version of that, and like why
it's an extension
are still
of that,
showing up, so it's cool because again, the why has like the trickle down effect of all these little branches that are come out of the root, and so I feel like the why is kind of the root.
Yeah.
And then the branches are like the fruit from that. Like, oh, okay, so that could look like this, that could look like this, but they're all centered in this one place. Yeah.
Part of it too is being willing to be seen in this process.
Yeah.
If we do this whole thing 100 miles from nowhere and we don't start a podcast and we never let people come to our house and we live off the grid and nobody ever comes over, we're not actually going to open people's eyes to anything. So part of the reason we don't want to live a million miles from civilization, part of the reason we are starting a podcast is because there is an element of like, it's not enough to be a good person. You have to be seen being a good person.
Yeah, totally.
Otherwise, you're minimizing your impact overall.
Yeah.
It's not about shining a spotlight on yourself and, whoa, look at us. It's more like, that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is we hide and then nobody knows and nobody's eyes are open.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the middle of like, this is what we're doing. This is what we think a good life is made up of.
Yeah. I love that. It's good. All right. Part 3.
So the critical actions and key characteristics kind of go together, but they're separate things. If it's helpful, critical actions is like doing.
Yeah.
And key characteristics are like being.
Love it.
Like what kind of person are we going to be? And what specific actions are we going to try to do?
Yeah.
Each of them have 3 critical actions, 3 key characteristics, because the human brain can't handle more than 3 of basically anything. So our critical actions are say I love you, share a meal, and work the homestead. And those have changed over the years.
Yeah.
But I mean, saying I love you, just a simple daily reminder that each person in our family matters and is worthy of love just as they are. That's super simple, but saying it at least once a day, if not more. Sharing a meal is a big one. We did a whole episode on this one. So
you guys know how we feel about
You guys know how we feel about sharing meals. So, but we put it in our guiding principles because it's like, hey, if we're going to only do 3 things each day, tell each other we love each other, share a meal, and do something on the homestead.
Yeah.
Just something. So today was moving the chickens.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I don't want to talk about it. But we try to do something every day, partially because we want to be faithful with what we have, because we believe that if we're faithful with what we have, we'll be entrusted with more, and we want to be entrusted. We want to be trustworthy and be entrusted with more. Yeah. So those are the critical actions.
Those have been, like you said, they've changed over time, but I think they really match the season of life that we're in. And that's, again, an encouragement to all of you out there. It's like, these don't have to be perfect. It's like, what are 3 simple things that we can tangibly do every single day or close to every single day? And because I think the other thing about the critical actions is it's not just like a once a year thing. It's like, these are the things, this is like the stuff of life. Yeah. This is the everyday stuff. So,
yeah. And the hope is to jot down 3 things that you might forget to do otherwise. Like working the homestead. It would be easy to be like, oh, but it's on there. And so it's like an extra reminder to do that.
Yeah.
And it's a barometer. It's like a metric of like, how did I do today? Well, we didn't share a meal together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine, but we don't want that to be the new normal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Key characteristics, same idea, 3, but these are a little bit more abstract, whereas the critical actions are more concrete. So our characteristics are, we want to be characterized as prioritizing togetherness, being a possibilist, and having a coffee bean mindset.
Yeah.
And so prioritizing togetherness.
Yep. We did an episode on that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's been like, from day 0, it's been like that, and that phrase togetherness. I don't even know where that came from. I feel like it's just always been
that's
part of our
that's
vernacular.
woven into everything we do.
Yeah. You know, everybody knows how we feel about people living parallel lives. So but yeah, we want to be an example of healthy interdependence. So not codependence, but not just independence. Healthy interdependence is the foundation of a solid marriage and a strong family.
And then being a possibilist, we will be doing an episode on this eventually, but being a possibilist, did you come up with that?
No.
Okay. I can't.
There's that specific way of saying it, as my understanding is that John Maxwell came up with it in his book. change your world, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Sharma talks about the same exact concept, and he calls it a possibilitarian.
Oh, yeah.
But I like possibilist better.
Yeah, totally. I like that.
So,
yeah,
we could do a whole episode on that. But
yeah,
I have strong feelings about optimism, pessimism, and optimists, pessimists, and realists. So we don't want to be any of those, really. We want to be something much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then coffee bean mindset, we've talked about that as well. Some of these key characteristics, to be honest, are aspirational as much as anything. It's
that's
like,
a good point. Yeah.
I am not a natural possibilist, but I want to be.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not a natural coffee bean, but I want to be. Honestly, I'm a natural carrot. Like I go in hot water and I go carrot. That's my MO. I get soft and mushy and fall apart. I go carrot.
I think
that's my natural thing.
I like that perspective because again, it's easy to be like, oh wow, they're got all the boxes checked, but you're totally right. We don't. and I'd like that it is more of a weekly reminder of like where we want to go and who we want to be. And so that's more than anything. So again, if it's like you're creating this thing, it's like, who on my best day, who would I like to be? What do I want to be like? Yeah. And that can become your characteristics as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool because we do this together. Again, sharing this, we talk about these at the dining room table on Saturdays as we share a meal. So our kids are already hearing this kind of language, and that's part of it. Like this is all new stuff to us. A lot of it, like
I would love for our kids to grow up thinking this kind of stuff is normal.
Yeah, me too. I know, me too.
I would love it if our daughter came home from like a date and be like, he was all right, but he didn't have his guiding principles figured out.
Right. Yeah, I love it. Cool. And then, so what's the last piece then?
Yeah. Well, two more pieces. One is, I don't mind calling this next section the mission statement because I now understand that the way most people use the word mission or mission statement is totally wrong. But I've also had people say like, I just want to call this our goals. Awesome. That's great. But whether you call this section our goals or our mission, a mission, if you think about the word, it's something with a clear beginning, clear end, clear purpose.
Yeah.
So if you want to think about a video game with a mission or a board game or a military mission, it's not the like goofy, puffy cloud language that most businesses use or churches use, where it's like, oh, we exist. The things I hear when people say what their mission statement are like, make me cringe most of the time. So you could say our mission or our goals, but a true mission is specific, it's time bound, it's measurable. There is no like, did we accomplish the mission? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you can't say yes or no, then it's not a good mission statement.
So this is a SMART goal.
In some ways, yes. Yeah. I did not frame it as a SMART goal. Do you not know what SMART goals stand for?
I can't remember the rest.
Specific,
tell me later.
Measurable.
Yep. Got those down.
Yeah. Okay. We could do a different episode on SMART goals if you want.
Maybe we need to.
Our goals or our mission, again, 3 things, because the human brain can't handle more than 3 things. And they're super specific. I don't mind sharing what ours specifically are right now. They change about every 3 months.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because we accomplish them, and sometimes it's because we're just like tweaking we're tweaking the direction a little bit. It's like, or that wasn't specific enough.
Yeah, for sure.
A previous version was like financial independence. Like, what is that? What's the number?
Yeah.
So now there's a number.
Yeah.
So for me, owning my own business, my goal is for the business to generate $10,000 a month in passive revenue, semi-passive revenue, because we have a group program that is, if 100 more people join, it's no extra work. So that's kind of still passive income to me. It's $10,000 a month in passive revenue. Number 2 is owning a milk cow. It's very specific. You either have one or you don't.
Yeah.
And turning our current house into an Airbnb.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
Permits are applied for is our current status.
Hermits. I thought you said hermits.
Hermits.
I was like,
Nope.
the Home-Centered Life Hermits. That
No.
could be our like inner group, our fan club, the Home-Centered Life Hermits.
No.
So the goals are specific.
Yeah.
The time frame is specific. And probably the most important part is re-mentioning the why.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because $10,000 a month in passive revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Owning a milk cow. Why?
Yeah.
Turning your house into an Airbnb. Why? And why by July 5th?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why not, 10 years from now? Because when we live out our calling, we open people's eyes to the beauty, healing, and belonging that isn't just possible. It's our birthright. Why do I think owning a milk cow will do that? Lots of reasons. I don't have one yet, so I don't know for sure. But we already like the joy we get from drinking the milk we get from our current provider.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm imagining, I don't know for sure, it's going to be a level up from that.
Yeah.
The joy I get from seeing our kids interact with our current animals, like I'm thinking of, it's just going to be even more so with the milk cow. So there's tons. I think it's a weird thing. I've never thought I would say this. I think there's a lot of beauty and healing and belonging from having a milk cow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of freedom that comes from $10,000 a month. This is business top line revenue. This is not personal income, but coming in passively from the business or into the business.
Yeah.
So a lot of this it doesn't make any sense unless you reiterate the why.
Yeah. And for me, the vision with turning the house into an Airbnb is, we've always said on this property, this like is a sanctuary. But we've also said, like, because we're super introverted, we're not like there's not people over all the time. We're pretty we're
sometimes
pretty,
we have some people coming over.
Yeah, we do. We have a couple friends. Yeah.
No, we're hosting a bunch of people this month and next month.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm joking.
I don't have any friends. Don't worry. I have one coworker employee.
No, but so we think like the vision has always been to have this sanctuary, and people who do come over are like, man, this place is so special. Yes. And so we've been like, well, how do we like multiply that? How do we really live that out? And again, like creating a sanctuary, that's like in our why. It's in our
100%. It's in our story.
So so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
So all of y'all out there who are doing Airbnb stuff, let us know if you have any recommendations.
Yeah.
So we're on that journey, and we're just learning, and But so these are really, really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And just because you just poked at it, but I want to like draw the highlighter over it. Like, why Airbnb? The Ryan family lives a life set apart like a city on a hill to show the world what is possible and create a sanctuary they can step into to find restoration.
Yeah. Yep.
What's going to what's going to allow as many people as possible to step into this space as a sanctuary? An Airbnb.
I get chills.
So it's like perfectly in alignment. It sounds like a weird thing if we just toss it out there, but it's perfectly in alignment with the story we're trying to tell.
It is.
And trying to write.
Yeah.
The last piece is the family motto. In many ways, this is like I full on ripped this off from somebody else.
Yeah, I know who it is. I was going to mention her. This is thank you to Shay Elliott from the Elliott Homestead.
Yeah. Yep. But when I heard her say that, I just was like, I want that. I want that to be true of me. I want that to be true of our kids. And I literally was like, I want that to be our family motto. And so the original like guiding principles framework didn't even have like a motto section, and I just created it at the top because in so many ways, even though the story is great, the motto now like captures it all for me.
Totally. Yeah.
And so it's like, all I have to say is Ryan's can do hard things. And I think of this whole thing now. Like it's almost like the phrase itself was a bucket that we've just filled with so much meaning. And so now when I think of like, I can do hard things, I think of this whole thing now, this whole page. So the phrase means much more than just the phrase. It means this whole thing that we just did, that we just walked through. And then it's years later, but I was listening to an interview with Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he's like, he said something like, there's nothing better than being able to say to yourself, I can do hard things. And I was like, yes,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I know. It's so good.
So, validation.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's fun. Again, we're saying these things to our daughter, and she's already like getting this in her repertoire of language. I can do hard things. So I love it. Yeah. I think, again, if this feels overwhelming, like that totally makes sense. I think why we wanted to share this episode and why we also shared specifically our stuff is because it can be like, well, I don't even know where to start. And I feel like start with sitting down together and just beginning these conversations. I think that's where it all starts, is having the conversations. One of you can take notes if you want, but if you're not even having the conversations, just like open the door to these conversations. Like, again, where are we going as a family? Why do we do what we do? Why are we married? Why do we have kids? Like, begin asking these questions. And maybe it's like 6 months of just having conversations, and then you can kind of gather, like you said, accumulate like this information and create something out of it. I think rather than trying to like sit down and write it all out, it might just start with like having the conversations as a family. Yeah.
And I think I would encourage people to plan on it taking years.
Yeah.
I recently, because I have this exact same framework, but for my business, it's like same framework, different everything else. But we have our 3 key characteristics for the business, and I have just been thinking about those and slowly realizing that I don't really use those as often as I use some other things.
Yeah.
Neither of them are good or bad. Some of them might stay the same, but there's one in particular that just keeps coming up as like, but I want this like real bad to be true of me and all our employees. But it's not on the list right now. And so I think eventually it'll bump out one of the other ones. But that's the process though, is like, I've got these as like my gauge. And I realize that in my head, I'm actually using 1 or 2 other ones more often. And that awareness of like, well, let's think about like maybe putting those on the list and taking 1 or 2 off. And over time, it becomes like closer and closer to what you actually want from yourself and from, your family. But it'll be an iterative process, and that's okay. It's not going to be like one and done. Like, we figured it out.
Yeah.
It took us 20 minutes.
Not at all.
Not even close.
Well, thank you, Michael, first of all, for this episode and for guiding us through this, but also for doing this for our family, because it's been really amazing. I'm so thankful that you took the lead on this. So thank you for that.
Thanks so much for joining us today for our conversation on our family guiding principles.
We hope you found it both helpful and encouraging. And if you'd like this episode, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a great zero-cost way to support this podcast.
You can also find us on Apple and Spotify and leave up to a 5-star review. One of the amazing things about the world we live in today is you can help us live a home-centered life, help us live out our guiding principles by liking and subscribing.
We look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you so much for joining us as we seek to live a more home-centered life.